Hello my friends and welcome back, it's episode 28. It's time to enter the inner walled city. Time to find the fortune machine. Wow, it's the first time I've seen a plus symbol on somebody. Okay, that didn't do anything. In the clearing ahead, you find a sobbing middle-aged man amidst a pile of bodies. He's dressed in a cheap suit with a bright yellow tie, but the fabric has been smeared with blood. He takes notice of you and recoils. Leave me alone, go away. He tries to pull away, his mouth drops open. You can see that he's missing at least half of his teeth. Can't let them find me. Can't let them catch me. Have to hide from them, from her. Slowly, methodically, he begins to claw at his own eyes. Can't get free, can't get clean. When my eyes close, I see them there, twitching, shaking, broken things. He reaches for you with blood-stained fingers. Please, please help me. Something scrambled his brains. Might have been Guan Ya or her servants, or just the stress. Either way, there isn't much we can do. He nods at you from red straight ears, drooling fire and pissing blood, bodies like gums of some huge animal, teeth thrusting out of pink flesh like thorns on a rose, shaking, trembling, their horrible smiles. His entire body begins to tremble. He doubles over, clutching his head and sobbing. The tears splatter down on the mangled corpses at his feet. Get moving, Seattle. We need to stop this before whatever those things drive us crazy as he is. We need to stop this before those things drive us as crazy as he is. Best we can help you is to stop all of this. He sobs uncomprehendingly. You know, there really is like no need for ridiculous wordiness when you actually have quite nice kind of artwork going on here. The sound of the typhoon hammering down outside is nearly drowned out by the noise of evacuees fleeing their ordeal. The air smells of fear and bodily fluids, thrums with the bass note of expectation and doom. You pause for a moment in the eye of the hurricane. Ahead, the cancerous core of the walled city is a concrete-encased fortune engine. Oh, wait. No word yet from the old man, Seattle. Think he hopped on a suborbital? I have faith in Raymond. Good, I would rather not have a showdown with the demon goddess. Shutting down that machine sounds much easier. Let's continue clearing a path, make it easy for him to follow. Let's go. The deafening rattle of machine gun fire fills the air behind you, and the metallic tang of blood cuts through the stench of garbage. You press forward, wading through block after block of insanity, chaos, and death. All around you, the walled city is descending into a churning cauldron of depravity and violence. The comms of no use. You tried several times, but there's still no word from the B team. No sign of Raymond or Kinley Chang's triad soldiers. Finally, reach the center of this hellhole, an industrial hatch with its door ajar. This is the place where Raymond Black built his infernal machine. The threshold across with Guan Ya, the queen with 1,000 teeth, clawed her way into this world. The threshold across. Oh, 8 karma for free. The walls here are thick, steel-reinforced. Braids of thick cable run across the floor, and computer equipment, now hopelessly out of date, adorns every elevated surface. Something in the distance is calling to you. It's faint, but you can feel it. Bone-shaking thrum of an enormous machine. Prosperity. The Sangs used us as guinea pigs to test their damn machine, and when it failed on them, they forgot about us. Isabel stares at the stenciled letters on the wall, a look of revulsion on her face. It has to be here. The fortune engine is in this complex. I can feel its humming in my bones. Keep moving. The sooner we find this thing, the sooner we can head home. Let's press on. Coast Chase scuttles forward eagerly. Its pedipalps weaving eagerly before it. I am quite enthusiastic to see this machine of Mr. Sang's. A rare opportunity, and one that I will not delay any longer. There isn't really much to do with this. Grab spellcasting 10, why not? I could have gotten some key casting, but it's pointless. It's partly pointless because you don't get more spellbook space no matter what, which is really annoying. You get 6 slots and that's your lot, no matter how many disciplines you have. And that is nowhere near enough. So you're kind of forced into either being a mage or being a summoner or being a keycaster because you're limited to 6 abilities, and that's barely enough for one discipline. Or to be effective in one discipline, I should say. Oh, some medkits. Why is it... So what, like the roof of this building is missing, so all this computer equipment is just being rained on. Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean... Surely all of this gear would have just been stolen by now anyway. The door has been sealed. It looks like it's been shut for quite a while. Gotta be some way to get this door open. The terminal winks to life as you approach. It's still drawing power, that's promising. This thing isn't even password locked. The display looks corrupted though, lots of garbled text and gibberish on that screen. As long as we get the door open with it, we're good. We don't need it for anything else. Let's find out. Sang Mechanical Services, Special Projects Division. Prosperity Admin System. Number 1, open testbed door. Something, something. You select the door controls on the computer's menu and command them to open. The screen flickers and goes dark. Damn it, let me take a look. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a wave of nausea grabs you by the guts and twists. It doubles you over, then fades. What was... As you straighten, you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up straight. A buzzing sensation washes over you, drowning out your companion's words and filling your head with white, warm static. At the center of the room, something blossoms into the world. The figure from your dreams looms over you, enormous and alien. The creature is beautiful and terrifying in equal measure. A thing of bellowing silk and carved ivory. Kuan Ya stands as still as a statue, peering down at you from behind a mask of sculpted gold. Smaller spirits take up positions around her, bowing their heads in deference. Well, her hands tighten on her weapon as the colour drains from her cheeks. Chit. I've been looking forward to killing this thing all day. Slowly, with a broad, languid motion, Kuan Ya's body begins to shift. The crescent-shaped ivory horns that crown her head cut through the light as she moves, casting strange shadows on the wall behind her. You are here. The voice that pours from behind the thing's mask is indescribably beautiful. The tones are high and musical and seem to hang in the air long after she finishes speaking. You have come to us. The corners of the room's servitor creatures echo the Queen's words, garbled sounds piping through gaps in enamel-lined carapaces. Come to us. We called you across the breadth of space and time, and now you're here, standing before us, just as you are meant to be. Why did you call to me? What do you want? We call to all who will listen. Her voice is joyous, triumphant. All are welcome in our court. All are welcome. All are welcome in our larder. The Armor King spreads its arms, movements full of malevolent grace. You belong here, slave thing, with us, now and for all time. I'm going to blow you black to whatever hole you crawled out of. You kill us. The thing cackles, its throat pulsing rhythmically. The sound catches your spine like a razor blade. Oh, the noises you make, such sweet, foolish sounds. The slave thing thinks it can kill us. It is mistaken. It cannot even comprehend us. Kuan Ya's iridescent gown parts as she raises a forearm. Your mind rebels against the alien biology that you see underneath the wet, glistening crenellations of flesh, enamel, and keratin that make up the Yama King's body. It is chattel, meat, and we have been starving for 1,000 years. The musical tones of the thing's voice are high-pitched and giddy. It opens its arms to you, offering a view of chisel-like teeth that protrude from its flesh. Factor stares up at the creature, his jaw hanging open in awe. Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. Queen with 1,000 teeth lowers her head, and unnaturally thick air turns rank and cold. Waves of nausea whack your stomach. Rack your stomach as a foul wind slides over you like mud. We will rip out your nerves at the root, milk the misery from your protesting body. Her glistening claws weave strange patterns in the air. We will feast on your sorrow, now and forever. Will you now? Right. Let the killing commence. Snuff flame. Sure thing. Give me your lunch money. Find someone to cover. Drone online. How dare you? Oh, holy! Oh man, I have to undo that. I cannot allow that to get confirmed. Oh, it looks like my drone has been disabled temporarily. Okay, a fireball there would be good. Nice. What is this? Wow, that's unfortunate. Let's get in here. Burn. Let them burn. Come on, buddy. Let's get that drone back online. It's not coming back online for some reason. Bye. That was not what I was intending to do. I was intending to do this. Okay, before I unleash that wildfire. Beautiful. Now, blow yourself up. I'm doing some real damage here. I mean, she's nearly down. I should have actually done this first. Armor stripping. Oh, she's down. Fog. Evil fog. Nice. Man, my poor drone is getting wrecked. Alright, he's back online. This is my first time, like, needing to save my drone. For some reason, that enemy is, like, seriously dangerous. Man, can I just really not hit this guy from anywhere? Doesn't count as a spirit. Oh, straight into the acid. Hang on, I heard a donk there, and that means one of my tabs has become unmuted. Right, let's continue. Before I was rudely interrupted. Let's take away his armor. Oh yeah. That'll do. Get your revenge. What's left is this guy. You cannot even comprehend us! Comprehend that. As you watch, young Kwa's blast-marked broken body begins to reform. Her gown knits itself back together, black blood wicking onto the floor. Slowly, terribly, she begins to laugh. You cannot kill us, meat. You have not seen us. Her voice fills with mockery. This form is but a shadow, a droplet of divine essence, filtered through a keyhole. Goblet scans the room, her eyes glinting. I think it's telling the truth. That thing over there isn't Kuan Ya. It's just a fragment of an enormous astral entity. The little ones, the servitors, are all parts of her too. Glow in her eyes fades. She bites her lip. We are so fucked. The rat servant sees the truth of it, glimpses us as we really are. Were you to behold our full magnificence, your mind would wring itself into pulp. The crumpled form of Kuan Ya rights itself, begins to rise. You will see, slave thing. We will show you a world not meant for mortal eyes. You will see. Bizarrely, that thing, that collectible, is not collectible anymore. Guess it was only collectible during the battle. Welcome to our domain, meat. It's time. Wow, this thing sucks. What a glorious waste of a move that was. Am I able to hurt her? I guess so. It's time to start using up stuff. That would be a miss. Would also be a miss. Unfortunately, grenades have to be shot at somebody. Just keep on working that armor down. Your servitor's on fire. 100% escape chance. Wow, she just wasted a lot of AP just fluffing around for no reason. Slowly but surely the armor is disappearing. Bye. Let's give her the evil fog. Get rid of my own stupid mummy spirit. Oh, nice hit. Nice. Armor broken. You know, it seems like the AI has been deliberately hamstrung in this game. It feels like... I mean, we've just watched the AI, like, running around a lot, just wasting tons of AP, just moving randomly. Throughout the whole game. As the Armor King's body crumples, a crackling sound fills the air. Once again, her broken body begins to knit itself back together. The flow of black ichor from her many wounds slows to a stop and reverses, the viscous fluid snaking its way back up into the holes and ruptures that it poured from. Projections on top of projections, all aspects of our divine being, shed as easily as a lizard sheds its tail. Her voice is ripe with mockery. You cannot harm us, meat, but you have amused us. Kuan Ya halts, her crowned head cocking to one side. Perhaps you are worthy of an audience after all. Perhaps. The voice trails off, and her head tilts upward. From behind you can hear the pounding sound of approaching footsteps. As he falls into position behind you, Duncan's jaw drops open. Raymond Black steps forward, his expression of grim determination on his face. Oh shit, she's real. He does his best to stand his ground as Kuan Ya turns to face him. His voice is full of awe and terror. I did this, I brought this creature here. He speaks in the grim tone of a man on his way to the gallows. His complexion has gone as grey as ash. My fault, my responsibility. Queen with 1,000 teeth cackles with glee. It has returned to us, the tunnel builder, the architect of my ascendancy. Ascendancy. Pathetic creature of meat and bone. Sorry. As the creature leans towards Raymond, its spidery fingers weaving hypnotically, the thing's robes billow like the bell of a jellyfish, pulsing organically with the rhythm of a heartbeat. You will have a special place in our court, Builder. You will stand by our side, exalted for all time, a living token of our unending rule, an undying symbol of the folly of man. I have been a fool, yes. His hands clench into fists so tight that his knuckles go white. The skin on his face is flushed with the effort of fighting through the stammer jumbling his words. A great fool, but I will not be your slave. I will stop you. The Queen with 1,000 teeth leans forward, her movements full of alien grace. Gaping crescent of her mouth parts into a ghastly smile, and you can see row upon row of fangs. They run down her throat in overlapping layers. Bristling forest of glistening, sharpened enamel. Third time's a charm. Tried to stay dead this time. Oh man, I have the whole team. Nice. Wow, that might be your only attack in the whole game. Here she is, full auto. One of the silliest and most overpowered things in the game. If your character is built for it. Which he really isn't. But you could see that that would have done an easy 50. If he didn't suck. As you watch the Amma King's broken carcass withers and dissipates, a second later all that's left of her is a cloud of rancid mist. Ah, that was easier than I thought it would be. I guess she was hurt worse than she let on. Trying to trick us into taking a bad deal. Doesn't mean that she won't come back. All we've done is buy ourselves some time. I do believe you are correct. He points to the dingy terminal just in front of the towering machine. Control console is just over there. You must move quickly. Fortune Engine itself stands before you, enormous malevolent presence that fills the test chamber ahead. Raymond pushes forward, leading into the study of the control console with a look of determination on his face. I will close the rift. I just need. He bends the terminal, frowning. His eyes dart from readout to readout as he watches blood drains from his cheeks. What's wrong? Destroy the thing before she comes back. I can't. He just does the technical readouts on the engine's monitors. There is a one-way flow of astral energy moving through from the inner walled city through the tunnel. I know what it is. Golet wrinkles her nose and gets a faraway look. She sways for a moment and speaks of her dream. I can feel it too. The energy is coming from the people that she's feeding on, their essence. Their spirits, for lack of a better word. She swears a while longer, puzzled at the expression on her face. If I destroy the machine now, it will collapse the tunnel. All those people will have the better part of their essence, what makes them who and what they are, trapped inside with her forever. Thousands of people condemned to eternity with that parasitic thing. Do we have another option? Yes. Someone could enter the tunnel, close the rift safely. The people would be saved, restored to life in the real world. What happens to the person in the tunnel? He stays there forever with her. There's no way out once the tunnel is closed. There's a long pause as the assembled group digests Raymond's words. Duncan nods to himself, his jaw clenched. He pushes forward. I'll do it. Just tell me what buttons to press. The old man stares at controls, cold fear washed across his face. No, if anyone is to do this, it must be me. His voice strengthens. You can see the old fierceness rising from within, the iron will of your childhood. It will be me. Hang on a minute, Raymond. No, not Raymond. My name is Edward Sang. I built this machine, this avalanche in motion, whether I meant to or not. It's my responsibility to stop it. He turns to you, a look of resignation on his face. That's what this is all about, what it's been about since the very beginning. Raymond, listen to me. You're too weak for this. Just tell me what to do. No, the Amma King could return at any moment. There's no time to teach you what to do in there. I must set things in motion. It must be me. Goodbye, Edmund. He smiles sadly. Thanks for coming to Hong Kong. Thank you for coming when I called. Let's be nice and say goodbye, Dad. Old man flips the lever and steps into the machine. There is a flash of light and Raymond Black is gone.
Remember the day I took you and Duncan off the streets? I told you that the past is just a story. That if you can just accept that, your past loses all power over you. My past is a terrible story. I didn't expect it to end with redemption. Sometimes the debts of the past can't be repaid. But we do what we can. I have done what I can.
And
to
I
right
did it
my wrongs.
for ire.
And I accept the consequences.
It was a bit anticlimactic, let's be honest. You depart from the Prosperity Chamber and are instantly caught up in a wave of refugees fleeing for their lives. Struggling through the packed wave of humanity, you're able to retrace your steps and eventually reach Hoi. Although the typhoon has passed, the scene is wet and chaotic. The newly homeless crowd the streets, dazedly wandering, searching for missing loved ones and nursing injuries. Relief workers are already on the scene, providing blankets and medical aid. Rescue personnel carry the stunned and wounded to safety. The entire area has been cordoned off by the HKPF, while knight-errant officers and the military peacekeeping force attempt to maintain order. Order! You emerge from Kowloon Walled City to a bustling clusters of activity. Refugees huddling together, staring back at their lost homes, government troops deploying from armoured personnel carriers, news vans setting up remote camera feeds, while reporters scramble to find the right angle for their broadcasts. The air is electric with the threat of potential violence as panicked peacekeepers eye the crowd of evacuating poor. Goblet's eyes dart furtively as she turtles her head between her shoulders. This place is hot, cops are swarming the place, and that APB is still out on us. Let's head to the boat. Sneaky like. Sounds good. It's going to take a year's worth of showers to wash that experience off me. Isabel lifts her nose towards the reporter interviewing someone from inside the walled city. Looks like we get to see a man on the street interview on our way. The press have already their hooks in someone, hoping for a soundbite. Porter wears a look of earnest concern, like a coat of cheap deodorant. And is that when you started running? Yeah, it was bad in there, shooting, screaming. I was terrified. What caused this, sir? Why are people flooding out of the walled city injured and disorientated? Man says seen around with orders, like everyone is saying, some sort of chemical leak, a drug lab exploded or something, caused mass hallucinations. Porter turns to the camera and pretends to check his notes. There you have it, Sonny. Our third report of mass hallucinations and violence caused by an explosion of a illegal drug lab. Our reports remain sketchy. It appears that street crime is again on the rise. Turns and sweeps his arm over the scene. As you can see, it's still turmoil and confusion here as police and executive council peacekeepers respond to the emergency situation, attempting to maintain order. But in all this chaos, the maze of poverty that is Kowloon Walled City may never know what really happened in there. Back to you in the studio, Sonny. The light on the news camera goes off and the reporter drops his facade. He ignores the bedraggled man beside him and begins picking up his equipment. For a moment, he sees you looking at him and turns to you with a scowl. What are you looking at? There was no illegal drug spill. I'm shocked, he laughs sardonically and continues packing. Of course there was no illegal drug spill. Of course it's a line of corp crap. Everything you see, everything you've been taught, every official you elect, they're all bought and paid for by people pulling the strings. Yeah, well, no one's telling me what to think. No eye contact. He remains bent over his equipment case. Of course not, pal. You're different. Porter finishes packing up and stands his straight, brushing wet grit of the street off of his hands, and as he does so his eyes narrow. His gaze moves over to your crew, flicking from face to face before eventually landing on you. Looks like you came from the inside, so tell me, what did you really see in there? A mess that Josephine Sang never cleaned up. Why am I not surprised? No one even remembers that she built this hole in the first place. Not that it would matter. Jo Sang holds down this town by the balls. Wouldn't surprise me if she was running some sort of test in the walled city like it's a little petri dish. Wouldn't surprise me if the whole thing blew up in her face because of low safety standards either. It's just food additives, body modifications, pharmaceuticals, whatever some junior executive can dream up. Nothing surprising me anymore. We can change that. Looks at you like you're from Mars. Good luck. You look like just the guy to do it. Maybe I can make it worth your while to help. He winks at you. I think it's more than worth my while to keep my job and start babbling about government or corporate cover-ups. I accidentally clicked there. Everyone on this island knows my news service is just a mouthpiece for the Executive Council. However, if you look close enough, you'll probably find it's owned by a member of the Executive Council. People buy what you feed them because the world is changing and it's scary. They feel small and they need scapegoats to blame and authority figures to tell them what to think. My news network gives them that. Points the truth scream out on the side of his news van. There's a prime example of an authority figure, Jo Sang, rising star of the Executive Council. Just look at her spinning this to her own ends, talking about humanitarian relief efforts she's mounting, you know? Go ahead and take your comm. I'm gonna go before this scene turns into some kind of riot. It usually does. Hello. Don't hello on to you. me. I lost contact with the soldiers I sent to the walled city with you, and now those Sang assholes and government troops are all over the place. Get over here and tell me what happened. Right away. I want to sleep for about a year. I'm heading to the botthole. Could use some slack time too. See you there. Better go talk to Auntie. Let's go talk to Auntie. I truly have no interest in going through all this. I mean, it just wasn't even that compelling of a story, let's be honest, right? Do you know, the thing about the SNES game, apart from the fact that the SNES game was really fun, is it was a very simple story. This corporation was making this scary AI, which, let's face it, that's not too far from reality these days. And, some smaller company decided that they should probably get rid of that because it's going to ruin them. So they made a program that ruins AI. And I guess they were going to sneakily upload it. And the corporation got wind of it and they just tried to kill the guy who had the program, which was you, Jake. And you got rescued by your totem. So evidently Jake was part shaman or whatever. So the dog spirit rescued him. And that's it. That's the whole story. There's no more. Everything else is told through the actions of the game and how the game unfolds. The fact that there are assassins everywhere after your ass just makes perfect sense. The commotion from the streets of Hawaii bleeds into Kelly Chang's mahjong parlor. Triad soldiers bustle to keep up with their boss's orders. Couriers come in regularly, whispering to her lieutenant before listening intently and running off again. As you enter, Kelly Chang is given instructions to strangle a bow. Nods enthusiastically. She looks over you and holds up her hand. Wait. And send Wong and Ho to snatch some of those medical supplies off the relief trucks. With all the excitement, nobody's watching them at all. She nods to herself, grimacing in satisfaction. There'll be a big black market for them over the next few weeks. Good thinking, Miss Chang. Bao lifts a finger to his ear to transmit the orders. When he sees you waiting, he inclines his head a quarter of an inch. Edmund, I figured you were dead. Last I heard, my soldiers had found you and everyone was heading into the walled city, and then things got out of control. Where are my people? What the hell happened? Got separated in the walled city. Found out later that they were killed. Is that how you treat my resources? Soldiers die, that's what they're for. Soldiers are for killing the other guy. Takes the Drago for a cigar, like so her nose. When your soldiers die, it's called losing. Taps her ash on the floor. Well, they knew the risks. They had a shot at moving up, and they missed. Forget them. Got bigger problems, like customers and tenants streaming out of the walled city, screaming for their lives, like the HKPF and those Stang security heels swarming the place. She drops a stub of the cigar in the ashtray. Now tell me what happened to the walled city, or do I have to get an ascertained torch and ask nicely? A new tenant tried to move in, the big, bad, terrifying kind from another dimension. A Yama King. Queen Ya, the queen with 1,000 teeth. So, a Yama Queen then, surely. Surely something cannot simultaneously be a king and a queen at the same time. And don't talk to me about that one time that a Scandinavian country elected a woman as a king. Like, she was a king. Legally, technically, she was a king, but not a queen. So it wasn't the same. Never heard of her. She picked up a bottle of foul spirits and studied the label. Rusty mean voice drops low, but I know the Yama Kings. My grandmother used to try and scare me with stories about them. I guess she thought she was teaching me something by scaring the shit out of me. I remember one Yama specifically, Fu Mang, the serpent of the setting sun. Oh yes. Fu Mang promised wealth and influence for those willing to do what was necessary to take it. The story of Fu Mang spoke to me. All he asked for in return were 44 hearts pulled from the chests of those closest to you while they were still alive. Hearts from random victims wouldn't do, so those who took Fu Mang's bargain would befriend others before taking their hearts, turning their entire network into a list of victims. Yes, Fu Mang spoke to me, but I didn't listen. Stranglebao leans in, a finger to his ear. My apologies, Miss Cheng, but one of the men you sent with the runners into the walled city is still alive. He stumbled into Wong and Ho as they were pulling medical supplies off a lorry. Turns to you with an edge of voice. At least one came back alive. Striking what Lowe said, listen to this. The man said that Wong Lung Fat is dead. He got shot up by the HKPF inside the walled city. Bao lifts his head and makes eye contact with the triad boss. He's almost salivating with avarice. Our man saw it with his own eyes, Miss Cheng. Is that good news? It's delicious, my darling. Wong Lun Fat was my superior in the Yellow Notice, say 438. He was also a pig. Tell our friend Edmund what that means, Mr. Bao. And say it slow so I can savour it. Death of Volume Flat has opened up a spot for you to move up, madam. You could be the next 438. Bao smiles. The effect is chilling. Gods help those who seize opportunities. Mr. Bao, put every man we have on this. Spread the word. Kunli Cheng says all debts to the Yellow Lotus are suspended for citizens of the walled city until order is restored. No interest will compound either. Tell them that I have medical supplies too, and that there will be no charge for them until the crisis is over. You are a pillar of the community. Don't be snide, Edmund. You don't want to blow my good mood. She raises her voice so the tribes in the room can hear her. Citizens of the walled city need clarity and reassurance. The Yellow Lotus will provide that for them. I may not have brought Josephine Sang down, but I got my career going again. Grabs a bottle and unscrews the cap with her thumb. Your career too, Mr. Bao. You'll be my new straw sandal. Good partners support one another. You have proven that, Miss Cheng. This calls for a drink. Soon to be 438 pours 2 shots, and the stink of kerosene stabs your nose like a switchblade. She hands the glass to Bao, touches it with her own, holds it there. Your loyalty and clear-headedness have proven immensely valuable, Mr. Bao. You're an effective ally, and I wish you great wealth and good fortune. They down the foul substance in one gulp. Looks like you two are moving up in the world. Yes, yes, and it appears your fortune is changing too, Edmund. She pulls out another drink and leaves it sitting on the table. Remember, you have a mysterious benefactor, the one who lifted the APB on you. I like mysterious benefactors. I'm sure you do, especially when they prevent police snipers from inserting a tunnel into your skull. Must be somebody powerful. I can't imagine it was Josephine Sang. After all, what would her motivation be? It's got to be someone else. One of Josephine's enemies on the Executive Council? I'll tap my network, find out if I can. That's for later. I'm missing an entire piece of your story, my darling. What happened at Prosperity Tower? Did you rescue Raymond Black? Did his mother wipe his memory? We got him. Stopped his mother from wiping his memory. Impressive. You've become quite the Shadowrunner. While you're in Prosperity Tower, did you find any incriminating data on Josephine Sang? Dirt, something I can use. Sorry, Auntie. Prosperity Tower was just too hot. All this bullshit and I don't get anything? She grabs a handful of margin tiles and drops on the table one by one. Fine. No sense in crying over that. I have business to do. I need to focus on bringing order back to the walled city and prestige to the Yellow Lotus. This will cement me in my new position. Now, before I get back to business, I must know, how did you go from rescuing Raymond Black to the walled city vomiting people? Ray built a machine in the walled city, accidentally summoned a big bad thing. That's when everybody ran. The triad boss cocks her head, raises a cigar to her lips. Demon summoning was accidental. What was his machine supposed to do in the first place? It created fortune. Foster Father created a magical fortune machine. The triad boss cocks her head, eager to cigar to her lips. Please tell me you have control of this device. Please tell me you brought it to me. No, sorry. That's a pity. I'm sure there are plenty of people who could benefit from it. While this business certainly proved lucrative for me, Kunli Cheng studies the glowing tip of her black cigar. I'm in prime position to be the next Yellow Lotus 438, and I only lost 4 men. Yeah, Raymond didn't make it. He sacrificed himself to stop the demon. Did he? Maybe that's what he came here to do. She lowers her eyes and her voice softens. Everyone makes their choices, my sweet, and everyone pays the consequences, even you someday. Made quite a splash since arriving in Hong Kong, Edmund. Many Shadowruns complete in a very short time. Reports from our clients are glowing, mostly. Can add closing the door on a demon goddess to the list. We made a difference. Perhaps for some, for a while. Triad voice leans in, her voice conspiratorial. Listen to me, my sweet. When I was a girl, there had never been a pandemic like Vitas, but in 2010 it happened. We had never seen death like that. A quarter of the world's population disappeared. It was miserable, pushed us to our limits, but the survivors moved on. And then the spike in babies started appearing, and the dwarf babies, and suddenly there was dragons and goblinization and magic, and every time the world changed, we got used to it. So if a demon goddess decided the walled city was her new living room and you didn't do whatever you did, what would have happened? Perhaps the news would cover it until the next sensation pulled their attention away, but after a while it'd be drowned out by all the other crap competing for our attention. The demon in the walled city would become the new normal. Well, the new normal is that the walled city isn't under magical influence anymore. Congratulations, the poor can return to their misery with no interference from magical machines or big bad things because of you. Let me give you a piece of advice for the future, my sweet. Something Mr. Cheng used to tell me. Respect ghosts and gods, but keep away from them. Sounds like you almost lost your ass in the walled city. I think you'd best listen to that. So there is a Mr. Cheng? There have been many Mr. Chengs, my darling. None have lasted long. She stubs out her cigar, screws the top back on her bottle. Now get some sleep, Edmund. You look like shit. Tomorrow we'll talk about the future. Last time you told me to go to bed, I woke up a Shadowrunner. What happens when I wake up tomorrow? Get to work, my darling. You heard Mr. Bao. Dips her finger into an empty glass, finds the last drop of liquor, and brings it to her mouth. The gods help those who seize opportunities. Kai Cheng turns away, dismissing you with a wave. Bao, what's the status on those medical supplies? Huzzah! I think that is it. Unless you want to spend loads of time talking to your team. The scene in the Bolt Hall is quiet, save for the sounds of eating. The crew is crowded around Goblet's electric hot plate. Her cast iron pot simmers on top and they hold bowls of soup in their hands. You recognise the smell. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a heapy scoop of egg-flavoured miso protein. The mood is somber. I thought you were all going to bed. Figured we'd hang out a while. No one can remember the last time we ate. Besides, no one can sleep anyway. She means me. I'm too fucked up to sleep, trying not to think about Raymond. Wu takes an enormous gulp of soup, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. They're just keeping me company, feeding me and pretending not to be tired. Talking a bit. So you're not afraid of going to sleep and having another nightmare? No one's afraid, no one's keeping Gunshow company. Just thought we could stick together a while, have some chow, debrief a bit. Yeah, talking about all that's going on, everything that we've been through together. Sorry about Raymond Seattle, you too, Duncan. He was trying to do good with that machine. You two need to remember that. Wu drops his head. His words come out slowly as if they were being forcibly extracted. I can't believe he did that. Gave himself to that demon. I think he did what he came to do. I guess we did too. Helped Raymond and we got what he wanted. Isabel stares over her bowl at the wall of the trawler. Her voice is soft. Hard to believe we defeated a god. Demon god. Goblet stirs a sleep with her finger. From another plane of existence. Hard to believe that Josephine Sang is going to remain untarnished by this whole thing. 20 years of misery, 20 years of suffering, tens of thousands, hundreds maybe. It's the way it is. The way the world works. The powerful play their games, little people pay the price. She'll see justice someday, she has to. But one thing doesn't add up for me. Why was Josephine Sang so intent on shutting us down? Why wouldn't she be? You saw what she was responsible for. No, think about it. The HKPF snipers, plastic phase man, all the resources that she poured into capturing Raymond and hunting us down. I mean, she's already covered her tracks with that illegal drug lab explosion, right? So why not let Ray do his thing and then cover it up afterwards? It doesn't add up. Had to be the fortune engine itself. Yeah, I think it's right. Everything from Raymond said. The key was supposed to be pooling, turning toxic, but I felt something in that room. A flow of positive key that I didn't expect. I think it was leaving the walled city. I bet that machine did something else, something that Raymond didn't know about. What if it was a siphon? What if Josephine Sang was stealing the cast-off positive key from the walled city, leeching it for her own benefit? Wu nods at Isabel, runs with the train of thought. She sealed up the fortune engine, leached the good key for herself, took Sang Mechanical Services from the minor company Ray's father built to the ballbuster it is today. That's how she got herself on the Executive Council of Hong Kong. Of course, it's all speculation, can't prove any of it. If Josephine was using the positive key that the fortune engine was casting off, she wasn't getting it anymore. She isn't getting it anymore. Your foster father sorted that. I wonder what will happen to her. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Goblet finishes her soup, lets out a little belch, and pats her stomach satisfied. She tosses the bowl in the corner for madness and folly. So, Seattle, what now? Now bed. Good plan for everybody, but especially you. You look like shit. So I've heard. Okay, you can catch up with your team, but I'm not that excited to do that. There are no nightmares, only shadows. See, to me, I feel like this is the weakest of the games. The story of the walled city riot circulates local news for nearly a week. Outside Hong Kong hear about the incident, those do even fewer care. By the end of the month, the city is back to business as usual. In Hawaii, the flow of refugees eventually slows to a trickle. Those who do escape tell stories of a terrifying demon goddess and of an old man who sacrificed his soul to banish her. The mad ramblings are generally met with pity or contempt. After the incident in the walled city, the lucky streak that propelled Sang Mechanical Services to limelight slowly comes to an end. CEO Josephine Sang remains a beloved public figure. Her influence begins to wane. She is eventually removed from the Executive Council. Within 3 years of the Walled City riot, Sang Mechanical Services loses its AAA status. From this point on, it is widely considered to be a B-grade corporation. Hawaii remains a safe port of call for smugglers, gangsters, and Shadowrunners alike. You are no exception. The Shadows here welcome you in the way that Seattle never did. You've earned the respect of your fixer, your clients, your community, and now that the APB on you and your team has been lifted by parties unknown, you are free to operate openly in Hong Kong. The place is yours now, your home. Yeah, it's... I don't know, man. I never found this story to be that gripping. It just seemed overly wordy and forced. There was just a huge amount of repetition. I never went through all the characters' stories just because... when I first played the game, I just didn't really feel like they were that interesting, to be honest. And, so I had no desire to do them again. I get like the combat side of things. One big issue with the game is that they made everything equally powerful, and when all builds are powerful, no build is powerful, if you know what I mean. Or every build is overpowered, I guess. I mean, I played a Mage because Mage is usually one of the weakest classes. Because it's very karma unintensive. You can get a lot of powerful spellcasting by simply taking willpower and spellcasting together, and that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to invest in a third abilities chain, or I mean, I suppose you do need to get int if you want particular spells, but you don't have to. So it's weaker because it's karma cheaper. There's a balance throughout Shadowrun. It kind of reminds me of BattleTech in that certain things are good because they're cheap, either in money or karma. Like top of the line rifles are very expensive, and the stats that support it are karma intensive. Because you need quickness, and then you need ranged, and then you need rifle skill on top. So you need at least 3, plus body. And so when you dip into cheaper builds in terms of karma, they tend to be more expensive in terms of money, or they just tend to be not as good. It's like pistols. Good pistols are very inexpensive, but they're not as good as rifles, SMGs, or shotguns usually. Or a pistol is a good complement to another cheap weapon, like a shotgun or an SMG. But yeah, like everything was just really, really powerful. So as long as you don't try and build a character that's like got a bit of everything, then like a classic example of this is letting mages get cyberware. Normally mages just cannot get cyberware because as soon as you lose even the slightest bit of essence, 0.5 essence, you lose 1 magic, which increases all your cooldowns by 1, which hurts a lot. But with Cyber Affinity, you can get a free point of essence, or you can get 2 free points of essence, and so you can add a lot of cyberware without paying the essence price for it, or the magic price for it, I should say. So a lot of the weaknesses of each class have been fixed. Pistols seem to do way more damage than I ever remember them doing. SMGs are firing 2 shots now, which makes me wonder if DPS-wise, they might be better than rifles, potentially. I mean, a rifle is 5 shots for 2 AP. But some of them are potentially half damage. the SMG does not seem to have that limitation and seems to be 2 shots for 1 AP. If it's always 2 full power shots, then there's real potential there. But anyway, whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed this campaign. That is it for the Hong Kong Mega Run. The Shadowrun Mega Run, I should say. I hope you enjoyed all of these. I guess the only Shadowrun game that's left is the Sega Genesis one, but I don't own it and I've never played it. So, unless someone is planning to send me a Sega Genesis, that one is not happening. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next campaign.